Have a seat, Mr. Decker. There's news from Kanaska.
I don't want to take up your time, Mr. Superintendent, but naturally I'm concerned.
I should be in your place.
Yes. Kanaska believes me responsible for Bailey's murder. My own son doesn't approve of my business methods and is on the case under an assumed name.
Corporal Wayne is a fine officer, and he's making progress.
I know you told me he persuaded Miss Bailey to reopen her father's mill, spoiling any chance I ever may have had to buy it. But how will that catch Bailey's murderer?
The 2 nuggets you gave Corporal Wayne came from Bailey, were part of the gold found on his body that caused the Kanaska strike.
Oh, so that's it. Tracing raw gold to its source by comparing the nuggets with the ore going through the mill.
The owner of the claim that the gold comes from, sir, has to be either Bailey's murderer or his accomplice.
Unfortunately, the murderer is aware of his danger. He's had raiders stopping the ore from getting to the mill.
Oh, indeed. I suppose Wayne is doing something about that.
And Corporal Wayne has sworn in deputies who will help him guard a big shipment of ore by way of Dark Canyon to the Bailey Mill.
Can't let the first landslide go too soon. Wayne and Frenchy got through. The ore wagon's pulled up.
These men, they have no manners. They do not wait.
They didn't want to battle the boys in the ore wagons as well as us.
The ore, she's safe. But the road, she's blocked. 1 week maybe, huh?
At least. We'll send the ore wagons back. They'll be safer. We're going to be busy. Look. Frenchy can tell you what happened later. The road's blocked and we had to make arrangements to have it cleared.
Do you know him?
Bucket. Why, he was in here yesterday.
What did he want?
Looking at the maps of the claims, checking his boundaries, he said. Queer duck. But he seems to know what he's doing.
He ought to. He's probably one of the ore raiders. Let's take a squint at those maps.
We find out where Mr. Bucket's claim is, and then we visit him, huh?
That's the general idea.
You know, I almost didn't hire you because of your name. Why anybody would tie a name like Latitude onto one like Bucket is beyond me. But you've done a good job. That's all for now.
That's the easiest money I ever made since I came up this way. And as for my name, well, people don't forget me when they hear I'm called Latitude Bucket.
That could be inconvenient if they're after you.
No, us buckets don't catch easy. It's an old family trait.
He's a mighty handy man to have around. We may need him again sometime.
I didn't think you'd got that Bailey claim deal started so quick.
I've been planning it ever since I got Decker's last letter. Gives us another chance to stop that mill. Satisfy Decker.
Is Bucket going to do the claim filing at Little Bend?
Oh, no. I'm only using him as a front here. Send Grail. The paper's made out in his name.
By the way, I ran into Price. He's anxious to see you.
I better walk over and have a talk with him. You know, that Price is smart and straight. We may need him sometime as a character witness.
It's sure lucky we looked at these claim maps. We're riding out to the Bailey mine to see June about this, and then we're going to pick up Mr. Bucket. Look, Fletchy. June's making it easier for us.
We've been waiting for you, June. Come on in and meet Mr. Bucket. Never realized how heavy a revolver could be. Well, Mr. Bucket?
My pappy always told us buckets, there were 10 of us kids, maybe 11, steer clear of mind readers.
Mr. Bucket wanted me to tell him, June, whether he'd be successful in operating your mill.
The mill?
And he then assured me that he was going to be the new owner.
And you can't do nothing about it, neither.
Perhaps I can, though. You mind coming along with me, Mr. Bucket?
Not at all, young fella. It's better than having guns poked at you. You better come along too, miss.
Just a moment, please. I don't read minds for nothing. $5.
My pappy was sure right. Have I been tuck?
Bartender. Yes, sir? Price in? Yes, he is, Mr. Taggart. Thank you. Taggart, I'm glad you're here. Mr. Decker wouldn't like it if I ignored you. He and I appreciate a businessman when we see one.
Don't we all? That's why I wanted to talk to you.
Sounds like a proposition. I'll be glad to listen to it.
You better listen, Taggart. You know what Bailey made his strike, and you killed him to keep him from telling anyone. And you're back of the orators.
Are you crazy, or do you believe that?
Blackie LaRock paid me those from nuggets he found on Bailey's body. Later, the rest were stolen from Madame Mysterioso and the Mounties. Here's 2 of them that you sent in a box at Decker's ore shipment. These 2 are obtained from ones I can prove that you yourself took from the Bailey secret mine. Grab yourself a fistful of sky, Mr. Taggart. Now, what were you saying, Mr. Price? Stay put, will you? Those guns make me nervous.
All right, go ahead and give those 6 nuggets to Corporal Wayne and tell him where you got them, and they'll hang me.
Undoubtedly. You received a letter from Decker day before yesterday, did you not? Isn't this the way it begins? Part of the Bailey claim has not been patented. Am I quoting correctly?
Yes, but how do you know what was in it?
I dictated it. Dancer forged it for me.
Wait a minute. I thought that you...
You thought I was honest. Isn't that what you meant to say?
Just the same, I think I'll stick around.
Just as you like, Dancer. But Mr. Taggart and I are about to become partners. Did you take the precautions I suggested to cover your trail in jumping the Bailey claim?
Well, yes, by using a sourdough with the name of Bucket. There won't be any trail for Wayne.
Good.
Well, I never thought I'd be doing business with you, Mr. Price, but I sure am satisfied.
Nothing pleases me more than to hear you say that, Taggart. You know, with the gold you've got when you clean out Bailey's pocket, and the idea I've got to go with it.
We can't lose.
Put these back in the business at your table. Did you run a beautiful bluff that time? Pretty good at that, eh? Taggart really thought those nuggets were part of Bailey's and could be used to prove him guilty.
Cutting yourself in on over $1 million without even a pair of deuces. That's gambling. Now, why did you write your name here over the Bailey claim?
Because the boundaries of that claim ain't right, that's why. The land that mill stands on ain't ever been filed. And I got me a partner, Grail. He's on his way now to the land office at Little Bend. You go to the Bailey Claim Location Monument, and you'll find our name in it instead of Tom Bailey's.
Did you ever see this before?
Hey, where did you get that? Grail borrowed that from me.
This Bucket, he has the answer for everything.
But they're beginning to make a lot of sense. How did you find out the mistake in the Bailey claim boundary?
Because I have the next claim. I figured the cross lines, they weren't right. So I came here to look at the map.
And Grail?
Well, Grail... well, Grail just sort of cut himself in.
I thought so.
Is it true what this man says about the mine?
Yes, it is, June. Do you know that Grail must work for the man who's behind the ore raiders?
How do you figure?
I found this where the raiders try to wipe out the ore wagons with landslides.
Tuck again. I'm always being tuck.
You don't seem like the type of man that would take advantage of a technicality to break me.
Don't I? Well, I ain't. I figured I'd just sell your mill site back to you. Reasonable.
Do you know Jackson Decker?
Reckon I do, but I ain't bragging about it.
Well, I say Decker is the man behind the Raiders, and that means that Grail's working for him.
You do, huh? Well, that does it. Miss, if you're willing to take a chance, I think I can get you to Little Bend ahead of Grail.
That's a good idea. Telegraphing won't do any good. Whoever gets there first can file. I'll go with you, June.
So if we can file a claim on the Bailey Mill site, that means Wayne can't use the mill to trace ore.
Don't worry, Bunker. I'll make Little Bend and file first thing in the morning.
It's up to you, Grail.
Yeah, then we can cut this tunnel to the pocket of gold that Taggart blocked off in the Bailey mine and have ourselves a real grub stake.
Get to work, boys. I'm not taking chances. I'm going to fix it so Wayne can't follow Grail even if he wants to.
That's what I call insurance.
Going by the South Fork is very risky. She's not a nice river.
But shorter. We're going overland. I want to have a talk with Mr. Grail.
All the night we must gallop.
Let's get started then.
Fire. She burns the river and the trail. And the South Fork, she's very narrow.
That's what I was afraid of. The canoe may be in trouble. You better go see. I'll try to get through to the trail and reach the river lower down.
This time we need the luck, most of all.
So I heard tell around town there's a race going on along the South Fork to get to the land office in Little Bend to file on the original Bailey claim.
You can't keep anything secret in Kanaska, can you?
Sure can. Say, how much of the claim turned out not to be patented?
Where the ore mill stands.
Somebody also told me that if the mill shuts down, you ain't gonna be able to compare the ore going through it with the gold you found on Bailey's body.
You wouldn't like my job, would you?
Well, I can't say as I would. But how you gonna locate where Bailey got his gold? That's where you expect to find Bailey's murderer, ain't it?
Hey, Nelson! Big forest fire. Where? All along the South Fork.
These rapids are too strong for us.
All we can do is try now. Them falls is just ahead.
That was a close one. I'll say it was.
This here's a new way of escaping a forest fire.
We're out of danger, all right. The fire's swinging west.
Better and better. It'll soon hit the Badlands and burn out. But I'm afraid you won't be able to pile on your pappy's ore mill, Miss Bailey.
Oh, you did the best you could to help Mr. Mackenzie and me, Mr. Bucket. Thanks anyway.
This I didn't expect to see. Any of you alive. I am the most happy.
Now it's up to Wayne. And unless he's luckier than us, June's going to lose the ore mill.
Through the fire, he was fighting his way out last time I see him.
Reached Little Bend first. Had to file on Bailey Mill site in my own name. Good man.
But the real name of Corporal Wayne is Jackson Wayne Decker. He's the son of the man Miss Bailey hates.
Miss Bailey won't hold it against Wayne for what she thinks his father's done. When she learns that he has saved the mill site for her.
This I know, but the name of Jackson Decker to her is like the battle cry.
Her attitude toward Decker may have more behind it than just prejudice at that. Gray'll arrive, but doesn't know I'm around. He mistook my name for my father's and reported by telegram to Taggart that my father had filed. Taggart, Decker's man.
Be cool. Just in, Grail from Little Bend.
I said you didn't... I was saying there didn't need to be no fire to stop anybody from getting to Little Bend ahead of Grail. I'd have dumped the canoe over. That's why I went along.
Accidents can be a big help sometimes. What about Wayne? You told me about everyone else.
Well, Frenchy said Wayne was looking for Grail because Grail took a shot at him. You're arrested in these parts shooting at Mounties.
Thanks, Bucket. You've been a big help. Next time I need a reliable man, I won't forget you.
Oh, nobody forgets me. I won't let him.
How'd old man Decker ever get to Little Bend?
Never mind about that. Have Archer and Kent meet Grail.
You think Wayne's after him?
I'm sure of it.
This way I can get to where I want without anyone suspecting me. You thought you were pretty smart when you picked up my trail after I left Little Bend, but Daniel Boone himself couldn't follow me without my knowing it.
Okay, Grail. I deserve what I walked into, but you're not going to get as far as you think.
That's my lookout. Yours isn't so good. You're going to dangle there a long time before somebody comes along and cuts you down. Not many people pass this way.
Taggart might as well learn now as later on who's boss. School him off. Not so fast, Mr. Taggart. Don't start taking Mr. Price for granted.
What is this? Who do you think you're talking to?
Not so loud either. You and Price weren't friends before, so don't make it look all at once if you are now.
Thanks, Dancer. That's a good point. I'll remember it.
You'll find Mr. Price waiting in his office.
If you ever tell Dancer to get smart with me again, you'll regret it, Price.
You murdered Bailey, I didn't, and I've got the proof. There's got to be one boss around here. Now, who's it going to be?
All right. Doesn't matter.
Well, that's better. Now, what's up?
Wayne's too close for comfort. I've got Bunker taking care of it.
To dig this tunnel to the Bailey mine as quickly as possible. Where's Grail?
Out doing other things.
Yeah, and Taggart says there's more gold than anybody'll ever need in that sealed tunnel in Bailey's mine.
I'm getting to the place where I won't believe it till I see it.
What's the use of digging for a fortune if we're not going to be able to keep it when we reach it?
Minnie?
Wayne's after Grail. Suppose Grail talks. You'll be working by yourself for a while, Nick.
So Grail thought that Jackson Wayne Decker was the old man himself.
Well, isn't he?
I wish he was. Jackson Decker without the middle name is 1,000 miles south.
What are you talking about?
There are two Deckers. The old man and his son Wayne.
Wayne? Corporal Wayne?
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me this before?
I didn't know it myself till I got that wire from Grail.
It's about time I started taking charge of things. Who else knows about Wayne?
Probably only the Mounties. They put Wayne on the case because he knows so much about his dad's business.
Then it's a cinch Wayne reached Little Bend first and filed on the claim.
It's the only explanation. But here's something worse. Grail took a shot at Wayne.
Now, the fool. They only suspected him before. Now they can arrest him.
No, I took care of that.
Well, I'm glad to learn you're good for something. Have you still got that letter of Decker's I had Dancer forge for us?
A pocket, what?
Maybe you can run a bluff on June Bailey. All you want from her is the ore mill, isn't it?
Bailey, I didn't come here about the mill site anyway. That's Decker's now, whether you like it or not. How about selling the mill machinery?
Let me see that letter and telegram again, will you?
Certainly.
Miss Bailey will still have her mine, but as the vein is worked out, the mill machinery is the only valuable property she owns. Moving it will be very expensive. Offer her a reasonable price for it.
Well, there's no doubt as to who wrote that. Grill is one of the raiders, according to Corporal Wayne. Just the sort of man Decker would hire. Well, what do you think, Lode?
You may be able to raise enough cash to move the machinery, but you won't have enough to put up another mill.
$1.25 on every dollar you've got tied up in the mill.
A fortune. I didn't expect Decker to offer any more than 10 cents on the dollar.
Well, neither did I. You better take it.
The buying and the selling. This can wait.
Since when have legal business transactions come under the authority of the mounted police?
Legal, perhaps, yes. But tricky also, perhaps. Grail, he sent telegram from Little Bend to you. But Corporal Wayne, he also sent telegram to us.
Isn't it true that Decker filed on the mill site?
Oh, yes, this Decker, he filed. But Sergeant Nelson, he wants you all to come over and speak to him.
Am I glad you got here when you did, Frenchy?
Me, I'm glad, too. Perhaps when we go back to Kanaska, Corporal Wayne will be there. With Mr. Grail.
You can thank the telegraph company for me being here, young fella. I ride the line that runs through the trees in there. Who are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Corporal Wayne of the Northwest Mounted Police.
Ah. Somebody outsmarted you, huh?
Made me change clothes with him and rode off on my horse.
Which way?
Towards Kanaska.
Like to catch up with him?
Of course I would, but he's too far ahead of me by now.
Well, his horse ain't a bad one. Gentle, too. I didn't have much trouble catching up with him. There's a much shorter trail leads over the mountain. It's pretty rough, though.
I've got nothing to lose. I'll try it.
I thought you would.
Better tap the wires and report to Sergeant Nelson in Kanaska about me.
Yeah, I was going to do that anyway. Who did you say the other man is?
Grail. Works for Taggart of the Deckard Company.
Oh.
It's about time we learn where everybody stands. There's a connection between Grail and the Raiders, between Bucket and Grail, between Grail, Taggart, and Deckard. But worst of all, there's no doubt that whoever is behind the Raiders is responsible for the murder of Miss Bailey's father. And solving that murder is our job here.
The Deckard Company has nothing to do with murder and theft, and neither have I.
Me too.
That remains to be seen.
It's my turn now, Grail, to change clothes with you. I like mine better. Get up. Take them off.
Sergeant! This here's a new kind of telegram. The line rider tapped the wires to send it.
Thank you, Zeb.
Don't mention it. That there telegram's worth the trouble. It's good reading. Constable.
Yes, sir.
Grail has turned the tables on Corporal Wayne. He's on his way to Kanaska in Wayne's uniform. Arrest him.
I wonder what would happen if a private citizen just happened to ride in the same direction.
I don't know any law to stop such a coincidence.
I'm glad you taught me the technique of changing clothes, Grail. Now I'm going to take you in.
You see what I see?
Are we in luck? We couldn't have come straight if we used a compass.
Get him. I'm not showing.
They come from the ridge. This way.
Maybe we can cut in on him from the other side.
There goes Grail. With my friend uniform. Mr. Grail is going to learn what real pot shot is.